I'm up in Port Solent with Ancaster, who have this Prestige 680 for sale. Now, the observant amongst you may say, well, you've already got a 680 on the channel, Nick, and you would be dead right. The difference with this one is, this is the full flybridge. The other one that I showed you was the S version, which had the small flybridge and the opening roof. So I think it's interesting to have a look at this one and see the difference. But of course, we're going to do the full tour. We're going to do the interior. We're going to do the side decks, the foredeck, the flybridge, of course, and the engine room and the crew cabin. And we're going to start right here at the back. It's got a high-low platform on it, and as you can see, it'll take a very nice Williams jet rib as your tender. And we'll head on board this way, as we normally do. That's access down to the engine room and the crew cabin. We will come back to that, of course. This is the tender. You don't often see these on my videos, so it's nice to have a quick look. This kind of thing, as you can see, you can sit sort of 4 there and a couple of people there, so 6, 7 people on that, and it's quite powerful. It's fast, and you can water ski from it, and it's a jet drive. That's what this fellow down here is. And what that means is there's no propeller. It uses this nozzle to power the water out and power it forward. So it's great for shallow water and great if people are doing water sports, because there's no propeller to cause any problems. Anyway, thought it was worth pointing that out as we went past. Let's go on board and see the rest of it. There's a letterbox passerelle in here, so that extends out, so that when you're stern to berthed in the med, you've got a way on and off of the boat from the quay. And underneath me here, these are steps, so that when this bathing platform lowers to launch a dinghy, these become steps down into the water. Very nice. Let's head on board and we will do a full tour, starting with this cockpit area. Decent size, and one thing that's nice to be able to show you is this, because I mention them quite often but you don't normally see them. And this is a sunscreen. It's perfect for today when the sun's beating on the back of the boat, but also if you're berthed stern to the quay, as you normally are in the Mediterranean, then that gives you a bit of privacy as well. But there's a button which we can press inside here. It's that one, and that winds it up out of the way. And in fact, while I've got my hand in this cupboard, I'll show you another thing. This boat's got IPS drives, they're pod drives, and there's a controller here. So this controls the whole manoeuvring of the boat. So you can push this to the side to make the boat go sideways, you can twist it and the boat will twist, push it forward and it goes forward. And it means that when you are berthing, you can control the entire boat from here, and you can watch yourself back into the berth when you're stern to, as we are at the moment. That's just a bit of storage next to Maggie. And then we will head into the interior first of all. In fact, no, one more thing to show you. This one has the cockpit ice maker. Okay, let's head on inside. This particular boat is an owner's boat, so it's a nice specification and we can see everything laid out. And it's about a year old, I believe. So you're seeing this as it looks actually kind of in use, which is nice. Now this is a galley aft layout. I like this sort of island bar that they put here. That's really nice because you can move your way around that. And it just gives you a bit more storage. So things like this for all your cups, for example, are in here. Plates, you can see they've got a special little mounting area to keep them all safe when the boat's underway. Next to that, fridge freezer, full height. Freezer, of course, is the one underneath. And then next to that, a dishwasher, a ceramic hob, and a Miele oven. And then over here, that's your sink. And that fella there, that's just a bit of storage. And some great big storage areas underneath there as well. What's nice then is you've got this little dining area separate to the main saloon, opposite. You can see there's a leaf here that swings around, so you can make that larger. And then you've got these big windows all the way around this area, throw loads of light into here. And then up ahead is the actual saloon area. I love these big, deep, cushioned sofas, very, very comfortable. And then you've got a little coffee table in the centre there. And I think what we'll do is we will head down here first of all, and then we'll work our way forwards. There's 2 lower deck areas on this boat. This one takes you down to the gas cabinet areas. Just as we go past, I'll show you this, because this is your switch panel for things like your 24-volt system and your 24-volt engine starting and that kind of thing. And also in here, all your circuit breakers are in here where they're easy to get at. or indeed very get-outable. And then we'll head on a bit further. So what you have down here is a really nice cabin right at the back of the boat. This isn't the owner's cabin, we'll come to that, but it looks like it because it's such a great size. You've got a little dressing table around here. This is just a dehumidifier the owner keeps on board to keep everything fresh and dry. And then there's a window, of course, out there, and a wardrobe like so. That is a nice sized cabin. TV in here. If we go down this side, we'll find its ensuite with a separate shower. Very nice. That's a good cabin, isn't it? As I say, amazingly, not the master. Let's see what else we can find. Another guest cabin in here. 2 singles. I believe I'm right in saying you can get infills to make this into a double if you prefer. So if a couple want to share, then of course they can do that. Again, you've got the big windows in here. That rectangular section, that is obviously an opening section, so you can get a bit of ventilation through here. There's storage up in here. This is the hi-fi system by Fusion, and again, TV back here. And a wardrobe. And as we continue round then, we'll find another one of those just there. So those are 2 really good twin cabins, plus that big double cabin further aft. So that's some pretty decent accommodation right there, but it's not the only accommodation in the boat. We're in Port Solent today, where you can see that. Very nice. And a similar arrangement, you've got your TV in here, you've got storage in places like this. And then in behind the door, hanging locker and more storage. So your guests are well catered for. Now both of these cabins, the twin cabins, share this heads. And this is also the day heads. Separate shower area in behind that door. And these again, lots of storage tucked away in places like this. And up here, and you've got these big windows with blinds that of course you can just turn for a bit of privacy if you need it. Okay, so that's the lower deck aft section. We'll head on forward and we'll find another completely separate lower deck section. So back up again around here. This is the saloon, that's what greets you when you come up in the morning. And then the helm is up ahead. There's a wine cooler down underneath and a big side access door. That's great because it means you can get from the helm straight out, but also it puts a lot of ventilation down through the boat. IPS controller again, so you can control the boat from here, then your throttles when you're out and running. And you've got 3 big Raymarine screens on here. This one's currently set to fish finder. This one's set to GPS chart plotter, so you can zoom in and out with that, see exactly where you are. And this is engine instrumentation, but you can configure these however you like. So you touch the home button there, and there's all sorts of choices. So you could, for example, have another chart if you wanted to, and then zoom that one right in and have charts at different zoom angles, or have one as radar, or basically set it up however you like. In behind here is a large TV, so if I touch the button down here, I did try this earlier, and it does just miss that globe by about 2 millimeters. So that's great for an evening if you want to watch a film or a bit of television. That's how you would do that. And then this is that other forward lower deck section. So there are nice wide treads as we go down. This as we go down is all bits of extra storage. And this is the master cabin, and this is beautiful. Big seating area, so you can tuck yourself away with a good book. And then a central double bed. They've backlit all this headboard, for example, and then a concealed lighting up and around here. There's also skylights in the ceiling. They've got the blinds across them at the minute, but you can get a load more light through there if you want to. And then your dressing table is up here. This is a walk-in wardrobe. And then next to that, that's your heads. Very nice indeed. And again, masses of storage tucked away in places like this. And a shower stall with a rainfall shower. That all makes for a very nice dressing area. This heads, this walk-in wardrobe, this dressing area, that's terrific. And then you've got that master cabin. That works really well. I like that very much. Okay, let's head on out of here and go and take a walk around the decks. And I think that what we will do is head out of this door over here. So what I need to do now is magic up my shoes. Remarkable. Okay, slip those on. Now from here, of course, you can go back down the side deck to that cockpit, but we're going to go the other way and head up to the bow. Because this is the sunbathing area. These are these skylights above that master cabin, and you can see the centre one is an opening one, so you get a bit of ventilation, or it's another way out of the boat if ever it was needed. And there's a great sunbathing area here with a bit of shade, so you can either have that up as it is at the minute, or of course it will drop flat. That's why there's a channel around here. And of course, if you're underway and you're driving from the lower helm, you'd need it down for that as well. And then right up on the front, you've got your anchoring gear, so the electric anchor winch and a big anchor that launches off of there. And underneath here is your anchor chain lockers. Okay, let's go all the way around, and I'll take you up and show you this flybridge, because that's what I'm quite keen for you to see, because of course it's very different to the other 680 that we had a look at Dusseldorf Boat Show earlier this year. So right to the back, hook a left, and these steps then take us up. And it's worth checking out the other video, because you'll see the difference. This, in comparison, is colossal. Let's start right from the back. We've got a great dining area. You can put a couple of directors' chairs around here, so you can seat 6 people or more around there. This is life raft stowage underneath here, so that little fella underneath there, in an emergency situation, you can hook that out, and that is a self-inflating life raft. Bar area is over here, so sink, barbecue, that's storage, and underneath this one there is another fridge. And then more seating on this side. What's quite neat is that the backrest of this one will slope the other way, knocking the poor chap's cushions everywhere, but you can get the idea. In fact, let's do that. Let's move those out of the way. There we go. That drops over, and that makes a great separate social space on that side of the boat. Or you drop it the other way, and you've got a nice helm seat for a couple of people to sit and enjoy the ride, and there's more space for people on this side as well. So that's great. When you're underway, 4 or 5 people across there, all having a chat, all enjoying the ride. Brilliant. This one has got the hard top on it. Now that's an option, so you can have the boat without that if you want to, or you can have a bimini, which is just a canvas top on a framework. And this big open section here, that will it close electrically. This slides across and it brings a canvas top with it, and that gives you full shade then. And then right at the front, you've got sunbathing cushions, and you've got your upper helm. And those instruments that we saw downstairs, those Raymarine screens, they're repeated here. So again, you can get all the same kind of information up here that you could get on the lower screens. And another IPS controller, and then your throttles. Great place to drive the boat from, because as you can see, the view from up here is magnificent. But that is a big flybridge, isn't it? That's excellent, and that is your key difference compared to the other 630 that we looked at earlier this year. Okay, let's head on back down. This will drop down so that you can enclose this, and then with canopies that go around the trailing edge of the flybridge overhang, you can enclose this entire area. So in fact, you can see the zip here where the canopies would zip in all the way around. Let's go and take a look at the engines and the crew cabin, and that's accessed back down here. So back past this Williams rib. And in we go. So, engine room is right ahead of us, but before we get there, let's take a look in here. Now this is just used for storing gear in at the minute. In fact, rather cunningly, what they've done is they've made covers for these beds to keep them nice. So the owner of this one, I believe, doesn't have a crew. He uses the boat himself and runs it himself. So that's not used. So hence canopies, ropes, that kind of thing are in there. But here's a perfectly good crew cabin for two. And there's a blind that comes down over that window. And also in here, there is a toilet compartment. And then there's a shower that pulls out of the taps, so if you want to shower there, they can do. What's great about this, of course, is that if you are running the boat just with your family, you've got a day heads directly off the bathing platform, because this is a place that people congregate to do water sports and swim and dive and have fun. So particularly if you've got kids, the ability for someone to nip in and use the loo and nip back out without traipsing through the interior of the boat, that's a very good thing. Also down here, washing machine. Excellent. Let's go and take in these engines. Now in here, these are a pair of Volvo Penta IPS 1350 engines. They're D13 motors, and they are 1,000 horsepower a side, which is giving this boat 32 knots. So it's a fast boat for a big boat. Cruise at about 24 knots, and at that sort of speed you've got a range of around 330 miles, that kind of area. There's a generator up at the front of the engine room. These are the fuel tanks either side. You can see the size of them. And this little fella down here, that is a Seakeeper gyro stabilizer. You can just see in here, in fact, the unit that contains it. So that spins at incredibly high speeds. And when it's up to speed, because it then stays completely stable, it uses hydraulic rams to push against it. So as the boat rocks, it's constantly correcting it. It's a very nice feature. Loads of headroom in here, like so. And then you've got things like the big engine fans. All your electrics on the back bulkhead there. That red fellow is a fire extinguisher, and this is another access direct to this area, so it's an escape route out, or it's a way of getting to the engine room without going through the crew area, and that goes up through that hatch, which takes you straight into the cockpit. Also means you can get into here without going onto the bathing platform, so if the weather's not so good and you need to come down and check anything, that's a very useful alternative route. Very nice indeed. Okay, let's head on back out, because I think that is a pretty comprehensive tour. So let's head back onto this bathing platform. And I think I will stand by this nice rib. I might even sit on it, look at that. And say thank you very much, Ancaster, for organising that tour for me, and thank you to the owner for allowing it, of course. Hope you've enjoyed that one. I hope it's been interesting. We've been able to go into a bit more detail than we could at Dusseldorf, so that's good. Apart from obviously also showing you the flybridge alternative, which is well worth seeing. As ever, thanks very much for watching. As ever, if you've not subscribed, do please hit the subscribe button and the little bell, because it'll keep you posted of more videos coming. And we'll look forward to catching you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.